Hello, everyone. Welcome to DataCam Donates Women in Big Data session with Amne to learn how to boost your resume and LinkedIn. Shala, would you like to go over? We have Shala with us. She is founder for Women in Big Data. Would you go over the Women in Big Data, please?
Sure. Just a quick, some you may have already heard it, but I'm not too sure if everyone been in this forum before. So Women in Big Data, we have started the organization in 2015 with only one chapter, a handful, like 15 people and such. And now we are a really global organization with over 22,000 or so members and 40 plus chapters in US. In I would say Americas, which include Canada and also Latin America and such, and we also have chapters in Europe and in EMEA, which is we sort of bundle them with our Europe, and in Asia. So it's a pretty active community. We all sort of volunteer, really, grassroots, and all really effort is to foster careers and develop women leaders in the data field. And with that, we have multiple programs that we offer. We have a mentorship program, we have a training program, we have many type of workshop, event, networking, really leadership type program. And it's all, if you are interested to join us, you can either join us through our LinkedIn company page, or you can directly go to our website membership and join us. We really have a very active forum, especially on LinkedIn, which our company and forum. We are pretty active on those, and you can follow us. Let's go to the next one. So as part of our net training, which is really, this is, example of type of training, we have really, hardcore sort of a workshop, which we used to do a lot of face-to-face, but now after COVID, of course, during COVID, and now it's more of a online training. And recently in 2020, end of 2023, we partnered with DataCam, and we have really over 400 plus sort of courses that they offer, along with tracks and certification, that we have licenses free of charge for all of them that we offer to our community. Right now we had to close the licenses so we can really focus on our learners, and hopefully they can get to the next level. But we will apply again every year. We have to apply for that partnership, and again we will open the licenses in 2025, and we will inform our community with that. We hear a lot of good feedback on DataCamp courses and the type of track that people are right now following. So that's exciting, which is a big news on our training this year. Let's see what else we would cover here. Anything else? Go ahead. Oh, why don't you go cover, Shabasti, you want to cover the rest of it?
Sure, yeah. As Shala mentioned, we are really looking forward. We are very thankful to DataCamp for offering us this free licenses. And at the same time, we are really looking forward to your feedback. All of you, we are just encouraging you all to take advantage of this opportunity to get free certification so you can advance your career. And here is what one of our learners has given their testimonial, Zubair Hafiz from Pakistan. So he's mentioned how it's a game changer for him as a non-tech math graduate, right? I've dabbled in various online courses, but DataCamp stands out. Hands-on approach and engaging style. So it just shows the amount of data and the courses you can take, right? 40 courses, 160 chapters, so many XPs. So we really encourage you all to go ahead and advance your career. And the other thing is also that, we really want you all to, we want to hear from you as to about the program and how this is helping you in your job search process and in your career growth. Because whatever skills you're learning, you're upskilling yourself, right? So we really look forward to this because ultimately all your success stories and your feedback is what is going to have us continue this program for next year, with more licenses so everyone can take advantage. So we really look forward to getting you get certified and share your success story here. And for our top learners for this month, we have Isabel, Serene, Yang, Maria, Kate, Katya, Modupe, Limin, Alim, and Sirisha. So congratulations to all of you for working hard, slogging it out, and you're obviously closer to your certification goal. So very nice. Congratulations to all of you. And as we really look forward to hear your feedback and your success story submission, irrespective of, whatever the qualifying are, it doesn't matter. It's just a question, yes or no. So you could accordingly go ahead and try it out. And the other thing is also for the data camp, you might have already explored the data lab options. So we really encourage you to do that because by that you're able to go ahead and try out all the different other environments, other cloud providers, whether it be AWS, GCP, Snowflake, all these different things you can try out. And now, without much further time, over to Amne, our guest speaker, for sharing his thoughts. And thanks for his time because he's agreed to do live resume reviews also with us. So over to you, Amne.
Well, thank you, Sabrasi, for the great intro. Let me share my screen and start the presentation. Awesome. Just want to make sure, is everyone able to see the Canva that I'm just sharing? Awesome. Okay, cool. So yeah, welcome everyone to the Resume LinkedIn workshop. First, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is Amni. I currently work at Meta as a senior product analyst. I am the founder of Data4.io, which is a platform to help people land jobs in data analytics. I've been in the field for quite some time now, and I've interviewed a lot of people. So I thought I would build a platform to help people land jobs, and this is what Data4 is about. So a little bit about myself outside of work. I love taking risks. Not like I don't go to the casino or anything, but I think one of the best thing in life is like being able to take risk. My journey, like entrepreneurship, something that I was not comfortable with, is one of the example of taking risk and also making sure to enjoy your life. I know everyone here might be stressed with the job search, and I've always told my friends and my network that like you have to think about job search as a process, not as an end goal. So every time you look for a job, try to think about how can you do better? Can you become better every day rather than like, I need the job now. And that would definitely make you way better in the long run. So what we're going to cover today, we're going to cover a few topics. One, I'm going to just be sharing some resume best practices that I believe will help you at least potentially land more interviews. And then we're going to review some resumes if we have any that people want to share. We're probably going to have time to review 1 or 2. And then I'm going to go over LinkedIn, how we can leverage LinkedIn in your job search. And maybe we can check some LinkedIn profile if anyone wants to share theirs, and we can review them together. Last but not least, I'm going to try to, if we have time, give some Q&A at the end for people to ask any type of question they have, either around the job search or around their journey in data analytics or data science. I saw there are also people in data engineering, happy to also help there. So the current way of like applying for a job is through a resume. Right now, you have 2 ways actually. One is applying online and then hoping that your resume gets picked by the recruiter. The second is recruiter looking for you, and that comes from having a great LinkedIn or appearing in their searches. On my side, most of the jobs, as I now have quite some years of experience, recruiters will reach out instead of me applying, which is great. So I would love for all of you to be at this point as well, so that like you don't have to compete so much with like thousands of applications for each job, but rather have a recruiter reach out to you because you have an outstanding profile. So we're going to go over some practices, and I think the best way to do that is not to make you read through a doc or something or like a PowerPoint. I'm going to go through a real example of a resume, and then I'm going to share with you what I believe are the best practices. So first thing I would like to emphasize is that your resume is what can help you basically land that first interview. It's not going to land you a job, but it's going to help you at the top of the funnel to get you that interview. So one thing I tell most people is just making it simple and easy to read. The recruiter doesn't have a lot of time. They usually have maybe 3 minutes to review a resume. So they're going to just skim through it. Sorry, yeah, they're just going to go skim through it. So they don't necessarily have the time to read line by line. So we have to be really outstanding and like think about it. Think about the resume as like if you had to read it yourself, would you hire yourself? And that's a good proxy for knowing if you have a good or bad resume. So one of the first thing that I really think is important is to have a summary section. You know, when you have to present like big presentation to executives or people that don't have time, they don't necessarily want to read through all your slides. You need to have like one slide that summarizes all. So that's what the purpose of this executive summary or like this summary is about. You first start with like who you are. You can say that I'm experienced analyst with X number of experience, and what sets you apart. You are specialized in something, right? Like on my side, I've done a lot of experimentation and A/B testing. It could be you build a lot of dashboards. It could be like writing like ETL pipelines if you're in the data engineering side, and all of that. So make sure to just in your first sentence to tell the recruiter who you are, and that would be the first one. The second I would say is like mention your highlights. So what are the top 2 or 3 achievements you've had in your career? It could be like you changed like you boosted the business by 2-3% by running X number of experiments. So mention that you've done that. So I actually see the summary as like what are the top highlights of all your job together combined. Maybe pick 2 sentences that like makes you stand out and make sure to put them here in your summary. The last piece is like maybe I like to add keywords like, oh, you leverage SQL, Tableau, all of these tools that like are important in any data analytics job. So I think SQL needs to be mentioned, Python needs to be mentioned, and any BI tool you've used, maybe Looker or Tableau. And then if you're planning to go for product analytics that require a lot of experimentation, make sure to mention experimentation or experiment and A/B testing in your summary. So these 3-4 sentences are going to be key for for the recruiter when they're going to skim through it to actually say, oh, this is a good profile. Let me dig to the profile experience and check if they can fit for this role. A bad summary will probably give you lower chances because they're going to be like, oh, he doesn't have the required experience. I'm not going to read the profile further. It's a no for me. Yeah. So moving to the professional experience. What I like to do is really make the Poshmark or like the company name slightly bigger in terms of font so that they know the company name and the role. I've seen many profiles where the font for the job is the same as the description of like your experience. It's always better to emphasize on the job title, because when you apply for a data analyst role, at least they know you have experience as data analyst. One of the biggest mistake I've seen is people that's applying for a data analyst job and having like project manager as their experience. Remember, the recruiters are not necessarily technical. They're just matching the keyword. They're going to be like, okay, he's applying for a data analyst job and has a project manager position. It's probably not going to work out. So yeah, make sure, even if you lie, to put like the job title that's the same as the job you're applying for. Again, don't apply for don't apply for 5 jobs with 5 different resumes. Keep max 2. So if you're applying for data analytics and data science, or data analytics and data engineering, have 2 separate ones, and make sure just that the job title there meets is the same. Awesome. I don't know if there are any questions. Okay.
I checked nothing in the chat here.
Okay, awesome. So I think I'm going to go over the last piece of the resume, which is like what you have to write about it. And I think I recommend having at least 3 up to 4 bullet points. That's the least you can have for each job. 1 bullet or 2 bullet is not enough, because it might show that you have not done much in the company. So make sure to at least have 3 bullets up to 4. And I'm going to explain how you're going to write each bullet so that they're impactful. Before writing the bullet, or like, no, I mean, after writing the bullet, I would say order them by impact. Like, what is the biggest achievement you've made? It doesn't matter if like you've done it 2 years ago and you're still on the job. Make sure to order them by impact, right? Like, for example, one of my biggest impact at Poshmark was that I ran a 50+ experiment that achieved 3% or 4% increase in GMV. This is big for $1 billion company. So combining all your experiments and all your highlights and showing that you've driven impact in the company, in my opinion, should be the best, one of the highest order impact I should put in. Because when the recruiter, we see that they're going to be, oh, he ran a lot of experiments in a big scale company and he achieved a pretty high success rate. 25% is pretty high in the experimentation side. And then increase in GMV is also showing that you've done significant impact. So you basically want that person in your team. The next bullet point is going to be less impactful than the first one, but that's fine, because here you already impress kind of the recruiter, showing that you're good for that position. Other ones is like, I led the implementation of web listing, resulting increase of 18K listers per month. And then I made sure to mention what does 18K lister means, because depending on the side of the company, it could be like 0.001%, it can be like 10%. So I make sure to say that it represents 0.3% of total listers per month. So again, this is how I would write it. Again, highlight the top most important one first and the least important one next. And if you don't have anything specific after your 3 achievements, I like to speak about like maybe how do you collaborate with the team, or like provide mentorship to people. For example, here, the last piece I mentioned is I provided training and mentorship to junior analysts to help them enhance their analytical capacity for the team. So this is also showing that you've done not only impact, but also helped people and mentor them. And this is what company like is like, we want people to help each other and push each other to become better. Cool. Few pieces. The years, I like to have this format. I've seen format with July 2020. I think this one, in my opinion, makes it easier to read numbers. Like they can just skim through them, not do the math like July 2021 and then February 2024. And yeah, the last piece is education. This is a tip I got from a recruiter at Google and NVIDIA that I used to partner with. Don't put the year of graduation in your education, because it's going to create like self-selection bias, like some bias there, age bias. So if they see that like, oh, you graduated only last year, they're going to have a different view of your resume as if you don't put anything here. So just for people graduating or have like small number of years of experience, don't put the age, don't create bias in general. So yeah, that's my take on this. When it comes to certification, this part is not necessarily important, but you can still put it. It's not gonna matter much in whether you're gonna land the interview, but it can show them that like you have specific expertise in like maybe a tool they've been using. If they use Tableau, you can show them that you have a Tableau certification. This is like Dataford. You probably don't need that, but you can also have Dataford in your resume as a SQL certification, or yeah, DataCamp as well. Cool.
We have a question in chat.
Yep.
So Angelica is asking, in my case, I have 2 years of experience as a data analyst, but I took a break and I did a cultural exchange to improve my level of English. How could I use it on my CV and in what section of it? That's a good question, Angelica. It's so common. All of us have this. Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah. So I think it's totally fine to take a career break. It depends on like how long it is. You don't need specifically to mention it. Only if the interview, the recruiter ask, then you can say that you took like a career break to enhance your skills. I would not add it to my resume simply because it goes against the flow of like the job. If I'm applying for a data analyst job and the first thing I see is career break, it doesn't. I don't think it's great. But you can explain the gap, not necessarily through your resume, but if they ask you.
The other thing that I could think of is like, instead of, because if the career gap is relevant to you, if you're doing something like, any mentoring program at Women in Big Data or the Data Camp, so, you can use that to highlight that break that, you did that, you worked over it over the break. So you can go ahead and do that,
Exactly. I agree with that. Yeah, I was literally answering to like that specific question, but your point makes a lot of sense. If you're doing like a boot camp in data or engineering, you can mention it in your education section. And this is where I would actually change the order of like how your resume look like. After the summary, I will put, instead of professional experience, maybe education first, to highlight that like this is what the recruiter needs to see first, because I've done a boot camp, I took a career break for that, and then I have a little experience, but I'm gonna put it next, after the education section.
Awesome. Alem has another question. If we have no experience in the data field because we are transitioning, changing field and job, how can we convince recruiters and stand out from the crowd?
Yeah, this is again a very, very good question. I think it's similar to the previous point. If you have any, if you're transitioning, you're probably learning data and you're learning, taking either certification or boot camp. So I would emphasize on this on your resume, just changing the order to put education first and like all what you've learned and like all you have achieved from your experience. Another good thing that you can do, because we have so many data available, there is this website called Kaggle, Kaggle, that have data sets available for free that you can use to have project in data analytics, and you can build your own project and mention them on your resume. That could also help you to transition because it can show the recruiter that you've done some work and you know what you're talking about.
Great, thanks for sharing your thoughts and feedback, Kamini. We have another question from Julissa. I'm a software engineer transitioning to AI ML engineering. I have been working on AI tools for my own company and also working on an ML certificate from Google. Should I add this info under my experience under my own company so there's no gaps and I have experience for this new role?
Yeah, I mean, this is a smart move. I would do that. I think, in my opinion, and in many recruiters' opinion, I think experience has more weight than education and projects. So I would definitely include that in your job title or in your experience section. Yeah, there's well, thank you, Emiko, for the comment. I'm joining, Dania mentioned I'm joining for Belgium. She has a biological background. She wants to transition to data science. She's using DataCamp to do courses, and she join a boot camp. Hopefully we'll also get to see how a beginner wants to transition to the field can be exceeding it for the same. Yeah, so yeah, just again, I'm not gonna lie, the market sucks right now. It's tough, especially for people with like little to no experience. But it's a market, right? Like you have to find ways to differentiate yourself from others. If everyone is doing the DataCamp certification, many recruiters will see it and be like, "Oh, that's just another person." But if you do something other than the certification, it could be like a project, an outstanding project, or if you do volunteering and you help the company and you drive impact for the company, that will make a big difference between the crowd. Like you're gonna stand out from the crowd just by having this professional experience where you were not paid, but you got like so much impact that like many recruiters saw that. So yeah, just keep that in mind.
Julissa, thanks, and Helen, thanks as well. So Angelica has a question. Is it important to have a section just to highlight strengths and skills?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Angelica, I think it depends on that. For me, strength and skills, like all these keywords like SQL, Python, behavior, like all of this stuff for me takes a lot of space because we have one page for the resume. And I would rather use the skills like in my professional experience section to show them that I've used these skills. So I leverage SQL and leverage Tableau to build stuff that were impactful rather than just having a list of like bullet points that doesn't tell me that you've used them. So yeah, that's my opinion. I would rather not have a section for skill. I would use this space and use that for either your professional experience or like your project or education.
Angelica says, thanks, great, thanks. Emiko is asking, I'm assuming that the format that you're showing is especially catered to the US market? for the resume you're sharing?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's for the North American market, US and Canada. I'm not sure how Europe does it, but I think in Europe it's normal to have a picture. In the US they don't like this bias, but like I would say that like in general a resume should be very simple. It should not change so much from region to region or from country to country. It's all about like what do you want to showcase? What do you want the recruiter to see first? And maybe if it's in Europe, you would have to add a picture. But the structure of the resume itself, I don't think it's really. You don't want to change the whole thing based on the region you're applying from. Yeah. Maybe you can move to. I know there are many questions, and maybe we can have one resume. If someone wants to share the resume, we can go over it, and then maybe have some actionable insight for the person that's sharing their resume.
Sure. So I actually shared 3 resumes that I've received. While I can just bring it up. And in the meantime, Vidya has a question. I am Vidya, based out of Bay Area. I transitioned to product management 5 years back. However, overall experience is 15 years. I was able to lead a major product from ideation and launch. However, sometimes I see people getting stuck on the number of years of product experience. Is it okay to add a highlight of key skill in each accomplishment under professional experience?
Sorry, I'm not sure I got like what do you mean, Vidya? What do you mean by I got stuck by the number of years of product experience?
So, hi, this is Vidya. So I think like what ends up happening is because I led a product, like I'm typically looking at product lead, product director kind of roles, right? However, people are always like, oh, but I need you to have 10 years of product experience, right? Or 15 years of product experience. And they're just looking at just that product management part of my experience, whereas there is a lot of soft skills that I built up with my engineering experience that honestly helped me excel in product management, right? And it just seems like it's a very narrow-minded way of looking, and I'm not entirely sure how to bridge that gap.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think you have you have really good experience in product, and I don't know who are the company that ask for so many years, but yeah, you can, if you have any other experience not relevant to product management, maybe like as you have software engineering experience, you can plug that in as well as a product manager instead of like software, so that you 10-year experience. Or I would just not apply for this kind of position that requires 15 years. But yeah, that's my take here. I would just either play around with your resume and change the titles to meet that number of years of experience.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Awesome. So cool. We're gonna review one resume here. Thanks, Arbatsi, for sharing it. So okay, so one thing I would say, and just from this structure, it's a little bit messy. It's hard to read, in my opinion. Not well structured in terms of like the section. So I would actually on data4.io you can sign up. It's free, and there is a template, the free template that you can use to change the format of your resume, just to make it easily readable. So that's one. Second thing I would say, we all want the resume to fit within one page, not more than one page. So yeah, so that's a lot of pages. I would also, I think there's lots of unused space because of the way it's structured. So maybe when you use the template on data4.io, you can potentially shrink it down to like one page, which is the goal. coming up to the summary section, I would just really make it to 3 sentences, not bullet points. It has to be something easy to go over. You can use, again, the template to go over it. Education, I think you have a lot of professional experience, I'm seeing, so education should not go second. I would put professional experience second and education third. And technical skills, as I mentioned, as long as you have them there, I see that you have Power BI in your first experience. You don't need to be redundant and show that you have technical skills again there. So I would remove all the programming languages. And honestly, the data tools like Microsoft Excel, spreadsheet, like no one cares. These are like tools that everyone knows and doesn't require any specific skills. Google Analytics, AWS, I would rather see that in your experience on how you use Google Analytics to drive any insights, or AWS to maybe pull some data or like pipelines. But if you're not using any of these data tools or programming languages, just make sure to incorporate them into your professional experience and remove completely the technical section. Yeah, so that's my my point here. I see that you have a lot of like you have the Titanic project. Again, all these projects that are like very known, we all know the Titanic project, everyone is doing it. So this is not going to make you outstanding, especially in this market. Go to Kaggle, build your join competition, or do something that will truly make you different from the crowd. And yeah, that's my 3 cents. 2 cents.
Great. Thanks so much for your inputs, Sam. We appreciate this.
Sure. I think we have time for like one quick resume, and then I really want to emphasize on LinkedIn because we have only 20 minutes left, and LinkedIn is important for your job search as well. So again, the fonts are for me hard to read.
Once again, should I just increase the text?
Oh no, I just meant like in general. Even if it increases, it's like Times New Roman for me is like hard to read in general. So yeah, I would again. I think you can use the template of Dataford, and then build all of this. I see a lot of skills in the 6 skills section, and a lot of stuff happening there, publication and all of it. So if we go up a little bit to the skills section, it would be the same feedback as I gave to the previous resume. Don't add skills unless you have used them in your professional experience. This is way too much, and honestly, it's impossible to know all of this and like be master all of this. And if you do, good for you, but I don't think this is a section to have in your resume. Make sure to show in your experience that you have used these tools, again, rather than having them there. Yeah, so I'm gonna I think I'm gonna send the link to at the end. I'm gonna send you of how to copy the template for both like entry-level position and like people with more experience, and then we can go over them. But generally speaking, I think 1, the structure need to be better, and then 2, have at least 3 bullet points per experience and trim the experiences that have no need to be there. Don't do the Titanic project, please. Remove that from your resume, or like change it with something that's relevant and something that you build yourself. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, we can go over that again really quick. This is
1 minute because she sent the email, so that's why just quick, right?
So, Adriana, I think this is probably the best structure of resume in between the 3. You have a good maybe the doc got messed up with the
underscore. Right.
Yeah. If we scroll up to section, I think this is what I want to see, like a good highlight section with all your summary of like what you've done, what you've achieved. I'm not completely sure of like the content of it. It does not seem honestly that great, but you can potentially improve the content in your summary section to really emphasize on like driven metrics, like what number have you drove, like what are the things you've done to make impact. Again, the technical skills, bilingual in English, Spanish. This is only if you're applying for a job that requires these languages. Otherwise, no one cares. Technical skills. Again, make sure to add them to your resume. You lost pretty much 20% of your resume just by adding this skill section. So yeah, I would remove that. You have good experience in SurveyMonkey, which is a pretty great company. You have good number of bullet points there. And I would love to have that in your summary section, like not bullet point, but like the key highlights of your experience. I see that you've done work, you've done impactful work. Just make sure to add achievement in your summary section.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. I'll stop sharing and I'll let you move on to the more important part. Thank you so much for helping everyone out.
Awesome. Yeah. So the LinkedIn best practices. I think it's better if I share my screen and show you real life, like how does it look. Let me show you my LinkedIn and then we can go over some examples. Okay. Are you able to see my LinkedIn profile? Yeah. Srabasi, are you able to see it?
Yeah, I'm
Awesome.
able to see.
Awesome. I just wanted to confirm. So one of the first thing to apply for a job, they're like, you need to be able to know how to leverage the search bar. The search bar is key to land opportunities in any companies. One of my first tip is to use the search with keywords. So there is this keyword called DM and referral that I've been testing just to see if that would work out. What does it mean here is like when it's under this to quote, it just means like give me exact match that have DM and have referral. Okay. So if I go to people, here you can find people that are willing to accept referral from you, and they're open that you connect with them and send them a message telling them like, I would love to be referred for Meta. I would love to be referred for this company. And you can also like based on your location, if you don't want to have like people from all over the world, you can target for specifically for US. So here there's a tech lead at TikTok that hiring their DM for referral. You have people at Intel. You have people at Snapchat. All of these people are like open to connect and happy to help. And honestly, it's because it's a win-win. When you refer someone, you make money, and then the person get a job. So it's all a win-win situation. So don't be afraid to ask and reach out to people and send them the job title you're interested in. So let's take an example of someone, maybe this person. This person is a software engineer, been in the company for 4 years, and they're happy to do referrals. So what you can do is like connect with that person and make sure to add a note and then say, hi, mainly I'm really interested in this position. And then the link of the link or the job title, this position at TikTok. Would you be able to refer me? Don't make it too long. I see messages like, oh, I'm really impressed by your experiences, blah, blah, blah. I don't like this. Just be straight to the point. Just say what you want. Would you be able to refer me, and send the message? Well, I'm not going to send it, but so this is how you would do it. Second, that's one way of finding jobs, like landing interviews and not applying through your resume, like just applying, and would increase your chances by at least 20-30%. The other aspect that I've been using is when you go for data analytics position and US, I would actually look for dates posted within 24 hours, because all of these jobs, you're already too late. There are already over 100 applicants. The ATS already, like the recruiter already selected 10 resume for review. The hiring managers told them it's been a week, you have no chance. Let's be honest. And so the way for you to get like a chance is to look at past 24 hours or newly fresh posts. So yeah, again, as I said, the market is tough. You can find positions that have been there just 21 hours that have a lot of applicants, but at least this will increase a lot of your chances way more than if you apply for a job that has been around for more than 3 days or a week. So that's what I would do. Again, 100 applicants, that not necessarily mean they applied and finalized the process, because LinkedIn is not able to track the number of applicants because they use third parties. When you click on apply, they go to the company website, right? So the apply button is actually just tracking the number of unique users that clicked on apply, right? So there could be a lot of people clicking on apply and not necessarily applying for the job and entering all their information, all right? So don't be also scared of that number. If you see over 100 applicants, it doesn't mean you have zero chance. You can see here 1,093 applicants in the past day, but out of this 1,000, probably like 20-30% have actually applied. And there are a lot of crappy resume there, like that just apply. So don't just apply as long as the job is within the 24 hours window. Okay. Yeah, so for those that want to see the free resume template, I'll be working with Srabasti to set up like an email after this call so that you can see the process to get the free template. So don't worry about that. Do you have any insight into listing that keep being reposted on LinkedIn? Sorry, I'm not sure I understand. If you can just give more details.
Yeah, you see right there on wheel, under business. Yep. Yeah, on green, it says reposted 15 hours ago.
Oh, okay, interesting. I have not noticed. That's cool. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's a really good point. So there are like two types of posting. The one that gets reposted, so they're already existing, they just like kind of reshare them. And there's the one that actually just new, right? Like, and that makes more sense. So for example, Navan, which is like, I think, I'm not sure if an EV company or something, but they just posted a job 2 hours ago. There are only 59 applicants. I think this is where you have like the highest chances to land an interview. Again, they're asking for 7+ years of experience, so that could also explain why there are not that many applicants. But you can just give it a try and see how this goes. They're not asking 7 years of experience in data, so you can have 7 years of experience across the board, which is fine. Yeah, so that's the one tip. Let me think about other stuff that I might have forgotten. Yeah, so the other pieces that I wanted to cover is like you can not only leverage the jobs or the people, you can also leverage the post. So there are people that post about data analytics or hiring. So you can also say data analyst and hiring. And you can look at posts that were maybe posted in the last 24 hours. And then you can find some interesting position. So for example, I'm currently hiring for this long-term contract. Click on the job, and then you can find like some posts that don't have necessarily a lot of like people commenting and liking. So Vaco is an outsourcing company, so you can give it a try as well. And this for sure will have way less applicants, less competition, and they're paying 45 to 15 hour. So you can get through this hidden job with this as well. Yeah, so my team is hiring. AngelList is looking for a few analysts to join. And this job do not exist on LinkedIn. So if you go to angellist.com, these are startups that would love to hire people, but they will not use LinkedIn because LinkedIn charge per posting. So you can also leverage this as well to get yourself some more chances to land a job. These are like the few tips. For those of you that are interested in knowing more, I do post a lot on LinkedIn on like helping people transition to data analytics. So if you want to follow me or like connect with me, I'm going to be sharing my LinkedIn in the section here. I do post about a lot of stuff, and you can see one of the thing I post about is mostly jobs and how to leverage other platforms than LinkedIn. One of my posts that worked out really well is, let me just show it to you really quick. Sorry, this is the yeah. So my top 10 alternative to LinkedIn. If I'm explaining that LinkedIn is not everything. There are other platforms out there that are way less competitive that can give you an edge. Wellfound.com is from AngelList, only for startups. There's TalentSpare. You don't need to apply for a job per se. You put your resume and then the recruiter will reach out to you. I've used that 3 years ago and it's been working really well. I got like many companies reaching out. It's mostly smaller company, but it's all like, if you have less experience, they're willing to take a bet on you. So TalentSpare is definitely a great platform. I saw Twitter X has also like their own platform for, so maybe you can check that out as well. Maybe you can find companies that don't exist on LinkedIn or are not on job posting on LinkedIn to apply there. There's ota.com, is another platform you should check out. There's also builtin.com. Crunchbase is like one tip I have is Crunchbase has a database of like the trending startups. So you can potentially check the list and reach out to them and see if they need anything in the data side. This is where you actually are proactive and ask people rather than like having a job for you. You ask for a job. They make a job for you instead. Themuse.com is for companies that have great culture. They have been vetted by the company, so you can find super cool company there. Hiring Coffee as well. And there's Tech for Good. So if you want to work for a nonprofit, for companies that are doing good for social and environmental issue, you can check this as well. Idealist is also the same type of platform. For example, CodePath, which is a nonprofit, is also there, and they do pay really well for data engineers. So if you're interested in joining nonprofit and be part of like a bigger purpose, you can check out this number 9 and number 10. Cool. Well, let me
This
read
is all great resources, Hamne. Thank you for sharing with the community.
Yeah, of course, anytime.
There's one question in the chat.
Just for people that want to connect with me.
Sorry.
I put LinkedIn, and make sure just when you connect, just explain that you're part of the woman org, so that like I know that where you're coming from and I can accept your request. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good tip, please. So it's easier to identify that we're coming from, who connected with. So Karen has a question. Can you talk a little bit about how to prepare for interviews, such as practicing SQL, Python, statistics? I've heard lead code data structures and algorithm questions may be asked. Can you speak in your experience if these lead code questions are important?
I'm on mute. Yeah, LeetCode has been built mostly for engineers to help them prepare for interviews. They do have good stuff for SQL, but there are other platforms out there that are more specialized in data analytics. One of them is Dataford. I'm not doing any marketing for it, but you can check it out. There's other platform, of course, DataCamp, that have a lot of courses, but they're not necessarily targeted towards interviews. They're like general knowledge about data. So if you have an interview coming up, there is Dataford, there's other platform out there that will help you prepare. We have SQL practices, over 120 questions. We also have mock interviews recording from like people from Amazon, from other big tech companies that helps you to kind of navigate all of this. And we have a lot of workshop out there that are also recorded. Yeah, so find the right platform for you and then practice for interview. Again, before even thinking about that, like try to land interviews first, and then use and once you land the interview, then look for platforms. Don't do that the other way around.
Thanks so much for your inputs. Maybe we are at the top of the hour, and yeah, I think we don't have any more questions.
Awesome. I see last question around the resume. If the resume fits the job profile, yeah, there is Job Scan. It's free. You can check it out. They do scan for 3 resumes per. I think for every account you have access to 3 resumes, so you can check it. This will give you a proxy of like how good your resume is in front of the job, but don't. If it shows like 10%, 20% or something, like just improve it, but don't do that for each job description. It's going to take you forever. Just like have a general resume that score really well generally, and don't change it for each job. Just like it's going to be a waste of time. I would rather have you spend energy on like applying for 50 jobs with a good resume than like 2 jobs with a great resume. So yeah, just use your energy in the right place.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, Amne. Appreciate
Of course,
this.
yeah.
Great. Have a good one, everyone. Do we have any more questions? Otherwise, we can close the call, I think. Great. Happy Friday, everyone. Have a good weekend then. Bye. Thank you so much, Amne.
Yeah.